There is one number that quietly divides the people who have to work from the people who get to choose. Cross it, and a paycheck becomes optional. The strange part? Almost nobody can tell you their number, even though it takes about 60 seconds of math. Let me give you yours. Ask most people when they can stop working, and you get a shrug. Someday. When I'm old. When I'm rich. It's a fog, and you can't hit a target you can't see. So we're going to turn that fog into a single, boring, beautiful number. Here's the first trap. Sam thinks freedom is about how much he earns. Bigger salary, bigger house, someday I'll magically be free. But income is the wrong question. You can earn $300,000 a year and still be one missed paycheck from panic. The right question is, how much do you spend in a year? Not earn, spend. Rent, food, insurance, the fun stuff, all of it, added up for 12 months. That single number is the foundation of everything. Say Sam spends $40,000 a year to live his life. $40,000 a year. That's Sam's real cost of being alive and comfortable. Hold on to that number, because in about 2 minutes, it's going to unlock the exact size of the finish line. Now the engine. When you invest money in a broad basket of the whole stock market, it earns more money. Your pile grows on its own every year without you lifting a finger. What if that growth could pay for your entire life, forever? Think of your invested savings as a goose that lays golden eggs. The eggs are your returns. If you live on the eggs and never cook the goose, it lays forever. Freedom isn't a giant pile you spend down. It's a goose big enough to feed you on eggs alone. So how big does the goose need to be? Decades of market research landed on a famous guideline, the 4% rule. It says you can pull about 4% of your invested pot in year one, raise it with inflation each year after, and, through crashes and booms, very likely never run out over a multi-decade retirement. Here's where it gets magic. If 4% of your pot has to cover a year of spending, then your pot just needs to be big enough that 4% equals your spending. Run that backwards, and every person on earth gets the same simple rule. Your freedom number is your yearly spending times 25. That's it. 25 times what you spend in a year. Because 1 divided by 4% is exactly 25. No finance degree, no guru, just one multiplication. Sam spends $40,000 a year. $40,000 times 25 is $1 million. The day Sam's investments cross $1 million, 4% of that, $40,000, covers his entire life. He can work if he wants to. He never has to again. But won't he drain it? No. And this is the beautiful part. That $1 million is still invested, still growing around 7% in a good long run. He pulls 4%. Growth outruns withdrawals, so the goose usually gets bigger even while it feeds him. He's living on eggs, not goose. Now the twist that changes everything. 2 people, identical salary. Sam spends $40,000 and needs $1 million. Dana trained herself to live on $30,000, so she needs $750,000. Dana's finish line is $250,000 closer, on the exact same paycheck. Freedom is bought with your spending, not your income. So build your own. $30,000 a year. Your number is $750,000. $40,000, it's $1 million. $60,000, it's $1.5 million. $80,000 a year, $2 million. Find your yearly spending on this menu, and you're staring at your finish line. And here's the gift almost no one mentions. You feel free long before the finish line. Hit half your number, and your investments cover half your bills forever. Suddenly, you only need a part-time job or work you actually like. Freedom isn't a wall you smash at the end. It arrives in pieces early. Now let me be the honest one, because the internet won't. 4% is a strong guideline, not a law of physics. It leans on a sensible mix of stocks and bonds and a long time horizon. It has held through history, but history isn't a promise. If you plan to stop very young, decades and decades of retirement, good planners nudge it down to about 3.5%, just for safety. That bumps your multiplier from 25 up to roughly 28. A little more cushion for a much longer ride. And your spending number has to be honest. Health insurance, taxes on withdrawals, the surprise new roof. If they're not in your yearly number, they're not covered. Build the real number, not the fantasy one. Freedom hates surprises. So how fast can you actually get there? Here's the part that stunned me. It's not your salary. It's your savings rate, the share of your income you invest instead of spend. That 1% sets the entire clock. Watch this. Save 10% of your income, and you're looking at roughly 50 years to freedom. Save 25%, and it's about 32 years. Save 50%, and it's around 17. Push to 65%, and you can be free in about a decade. Same math for a nurse and a banker. The rate is the clock. And cutting spending is the one move that hits both dials at once. Trim a $200 a month habit, and you don't just save the money. You shrink your yearly spending, which shrinks your number by $60,000, and you lift your savings rate, which speeds up the clock. One cut, two wins. One last piece, and it ties back to the fee video. This only works if your goose isn't being eaten alive by fees. Put your savings in low-cost, broad index funds, tiny fees, whole market growth, so the returns that build your number actually reach you, not a manager. So here's your homework, and it takes 60 seconds. Add up what you spend in a year. Multiply by 25. Write that number down. That's your finish line, the one nobody ever handed you, sitting there in plain sight the whole time. Now you can aim at it. If this gave you a target worth chasing, subscribe to Penny Wiser, and I'll see you in the next one.